This morning we've got this up and running, so we're excited to have it here, and we wanted to bring you out and show you different things that we're doing, and some of the things because it's fun to show you all the good things we do here. So it's a little cool this morning, but overall the sun is great. You get a chance to see what we're doing. I'm going to first go last week, kind of talk about the things that are going on in our regular that we would update, and then we'll kind of turn it over to Amy, and she's going to introduce a couple of her other departments, and then I'll let you ask them questions, and I'll close it out, and we will have our end of our stuff at that point. So if I could go ahead and talk about a couple of things that happened over this past week since the last time we met. First off, food trucks in the City of Pensacola. So despite actually made them legal, so they are legal. They are now certainly certain areas where we find they create conflict, but overall food trucks are now legal. So the one that sits right up the street right here is actually legal. So I'm very proud that we were able to make that happen, and we were able to do that even with missing an about 3 months, which prior administration wasn't able to make happen at all. So again, we're excited that has happened. Tell the people out at Osceola, another place that we get to have some fun at. They do a great job. We had our Mayor's Cup there that proceeds all go to sponsor First Tee, which is a great organization that teaches children about golf. We have much of it there at Osceola. It works, but we had the Mayor's Cup, and we had that on the Friday before the weekend before Thanksgiving. So that was a lot of fun. I had fun with Kareth. We played in the same club. We scored, had fun. So that's the main function. And they picked up Adrian, who is the pro out there. So I bet y'all front nine. But finally, are we picking this up? All right. And finally, yesterday was a big day in the faith traditions of our community. Certainly, importantly, last night we had a great first night of Hanukkah celebration. Really appreciate Rabbi Danow and his group at the Chabad Center getting out there. We had several people. Appreciated Casey being out there yesterday. Chief was out there, Randall, and most importantly was the Pensacola Fire Department. We played a big part in having a big drop for the kids. So it was a great night, a great way to start off some of the religious festivals that happen at this time of the year. And we certainly encourage everyone to go out and celebrate in their own faith traditions. Some of the things that are going on here, if you've noticed last week, we launched our POP, which is our stands for Pensacola Outdoor Project. This is about, we were happy to launch last week the Story Map website, which is a guide to outdoor art in the Pensacola area, and it stands for Pensacola Outdoor Project. I was actually at the DeLuna statue and saw the sticker, which has a QR code and your ability to get all the information on all of our different art and sculptures. I really would like to thank Holly Benson, who is kind of came to me with this idea. I'd like to thank Kim Carmody and the rest of the staff at the City of Pensacola Parks and Rec, who has worked diligently. Also our mapping area, GIS, certainly getting all this all pulled together. I think it's another way that you citizens and our tourists can see all the different public art that we have here, and really not only I guess show it off, but also hopefully find ways to do more of it in the future. So we certainly think this is great. The site can be launched from the POP website. It's POP exclamation point website at PensacolaOutdoorProject.com or at PlayPensacola.com. Visitors can also find it by scanning the QR code located on the stickers near many of the sculptures on the map. The site has maps to each of the sculptures and background on each sculpture with the information including the artist, the donor, and the significance of the piece. So we're very excited about that project, and it really allows us to categorize some other information. So get out there and look at all the public art that we have. We also have new bike racks through City and DIB partnership. Visitors to Palafox Market and other downtown Pensacola events now have a spot to park safely and secure their bikes on Palafox Street with the installation of 5 new bike racks near Martin Luther King Plaza. The bike racks were installed through a partnership between the City of Pensacola Public Works and Facilities Department and the Downtown Improvement Board, with DIB purchasing materials and the city crews installing the bike racks. So we're very happy to make that happen. By the way, I was out Saturday and downtown was alive and amazing, just seeing all the things happening on Palafox. The market was very active. So again, excited to see that all the things are happening, that you can bike there. We definitely are looking to become more bike and pedestrian friendly, so we're happy to complete that project. We're also looking for you to share your Bruce Beach history with the City of Pensacola. The City of Pensacola and SCAPE are seeking historical photos, documents related to Bruce Beach as part of the Bruce Beach Revitalization Project, which the project team may use as interpretive history signage at the site. Anyone wishing to share a piece of Bruce Beach history for the purpose of historic signage is asked to please submit their documents or photos to Sophie Riddell with SCAPE at Sophie at scapestudio.com. Sophie is SOPHIE at SCAPE, SCAPE studio.com by Tuesday, November 30th, which is tomorrow. Any stories submitted after the 30th will not be incorporated in the signage, but are of great value to the community and can be archived for future projects. Lastly, according to the Florida Department of Health, for last week, the November 12th through November 18th, Escambia County had a positivity rate for COVID of 3.5. We continue to track and follow that, and we continue to stay in touch with the hospitals as we manage what's going on. There are a couple other things that I want to talk to in my question part. When we get to the end, I'll be happy to do that. But I did at least want to get started and introduce Amy Miller, who's going to have the opportunity to talk to you about 2 other enterprise funds that she works with that are doing great and amazing things, and we wanted to showcase them today. Amy?
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. We're out here this morning to later on in the program we're going to have a ribbon cutting for the reopening of this recycling drop-off facility. But before we get to that, we're going to have some remarks by 2 of Pensacola's enterprise fund departments or business enterprises that are operated by the city. One is Sanitation and Fleet Management. The other one is Pensacola Energy, our local natural gas company. John has been here, 2 years now, here with the City of Pensacola for about 2 years. And sometimes good things come from bringing in fresh ideas, fresh energy, particularly when a long-time department director retires. Sometimes those fresh ideas, fresh energy, fresh ideas from successes that you've had in other communities are really beneficial to your new home. And John has brought that here to Pensacola. I don't want to steal much of his thunder, but he brought us, single day pickup, where all of your pickup items go out on the same day, whether it's your yard waste, your recycling, or your household trash. He's brought us this facility. He's brought you Premier or backdoor trash service, where you pay a little bit extra to have the crew actually pick up your can from wherever you want them to pick it up on your property, empty it for you, and put it back. He's got sometimes it's hard to kind of hold him down, do it all at one time. But with that, I'd like to introduce the director of the Sanitation Department of the City of Pensacola and Fleet Management, John Pittman.
Thanks, Amy, for that introduction. I just want to say that we are really excited about recycling here in the City of Pensacola, and I've done this in other communities, and I think it's about time for us to go to the next level when it comes to recycling. We always want to encourage our citizens to recycle, but we didn't have any other place to bring the recycling. We didn't have a drop-off, but now we don't have. So I wanted to introduce our first drop-off center for the City of Pensacola. We'll be responsible for this, and we want to encourage everybody to recycle. We have 3 dumpsters that we're going to start out with for two with the cardboard only recycling dumpsters. In the middle for our single stream recyclables, for all the other recyclable materials that we have out there. We're excited, and we're just looking forward to providing an additional service to the city of Pensacola. This site here on Summit is the first of some of the drop-off centers that we are looking to implement into the city of Pensacola. Our next one, we're looking at at a possibility of putting a drop-off center over there too. So we are excited, like I said, and we look forward to it. Another thing that our recycling app, if you download our Recycling Coach app for City of Pensacola, you'll see some of the exciting things that are happening here in the City of Pensacola, and you'll see what's happening in the sanitation department and things that are in the future. It'll also tell you about our premium service, our backdoor service. So a resident of the City of Pensacola, go to our website and take a look at the premium service. It's something that we're excited about and that we want to deliver to our citizens here in the City of Pensacola. Thank you.
Now, on the flip side, from a new fresh face just coming to town, a department can really benefit from that steady leadership, that calm hand of someone that's been around for a while and knows how things work and can fix a natural gas company even when you have a hot winter. And this is about the time of year he starts praying for cold. So I'm going to bring up the director of Pensacola Energy, Don Suarez, to say a few words about Pensacola's energy successes this last year.
Thanks, Amy. And sometimes God is good. He delivers a little cold air for you on these November days. Pensacola Energy is having a really good season, as we usually do in the winter if it get a little cold weather. But first I want to talk about our compressed natural gas motor fuel program. John was kind enough to bring one of his new vehicles out here, the one that he uses for recycling, and that vehicle is fueled by compressed natural gas. In fact, out of the 738 vehicles that the city has, 83 of those vehicles are fueled by natural gas. And because of that, those 83 vehicles have emitted over 700 metric tons of CO2 less than they would have had they been fueled by either gasoline or diesel. So that's a good step in the right direction for the Pensacola environment and the environment for the earth, of course. Another step that Pensacola Energy is taking to try to improve our carbon footprint is just this fall we began taking delivery of a portion of our supply as carbon offset natural gas, or CON gas as it's called. Carbon offset natural gas is a product that BP just began offering to customers like ours, and basically it's traditional molecules of natural gas that are matched with set-aside forest land, dedicated forest land, so that those trees absorb the carbon dioxide that the natural gas will emit when it is burned. So it's carbon neutral. That's the intent of the carbon offset natural gas. There's a lot of work going on in the natural gas industry. Renewable natural gas is one that's talked about an awful lot, but still it's in its infancy. We're not able to get any of that yet because it's very limited supply, but we hope to in the near future. A lot of work going to capture the carbon in various ways as it's emitted by natural gas. So we're hopeful that as we roll towards a cleaner future worldwide, that natural gas will be a player in that future. Finally, we're experiencing some significant growth with Pensacola, and Pensacola Energy is enjoying a part of that growth in that we are adding about 1,000 or so new customers per year. We expect that trend to continue into the future. One of those 1,000 new customers in spring of next year, 2022, will be International Paper. It's not often that a gas utility gets to add a major industrial customer like that, but we're fortunate to be able to secure a supply of gas that is costing less than their current supply. So that addition of International Paper will increase our throughput, our sales next year by about 14%. And utilities are slow growth businesses, so a 14% increase in 1 year is significant for us. So we're really excited about that. So that's a little bit of Pensacola Energy in a nutshell. Mr. Mayor, back to you.
Thank you. Don, if you and John would stay close in case we got any questions. I did at least want to point out, because I totally couldn't hear on some of the things that John said, but we certainly have worked with the county to do things here before. But I think one of the things that makes this different is we get a lot of requests. People love this, but sometimes I think 95% of the people do it right in what they recycle, but we always have 5% of the people always just want to dump stuff. If you look behind you, you will see we have 24-hour surveillance here, so making sure that we can find out who those 5% of the people are that are dumping stuff and not doing this in a legal way, and be able to address that. We want to be able to do the same in any of the centers that we bring. We want to bring it to other places in the community. We certainly have that idea, but we only want to bring it there if we can do it responsibly, and we think we can. And this is why this is the pilot, but we plan to have other kickoff sites that we would like to do this. So I appreciate the ideas, ways to generate better service that John has brought forward, and I very much appreciate the long-time leadership and the significant growth that we're seeing at Pensacola Energy that Don Suarez has brought there as well. So if you have any questions specifically for sanitation or for Pensacola Energy, if we could ask those at this point, and then I'll end with my Q&A after that.
For John.
John?
So, to whom is this a benefit since residential customers already have recycling capabilities?
Well, it's an increase to the community. We need to recycle a little bit more. We are, at the end of the day, we are going to take these recyclables and make sure that they're clean, and we're going to sell some of these recyclables back to the ECUA. We've come into an agreement with ECUA that for the cardboard at least, it's about $15 a ton, so that'll be some revenue, additional revenue coming in for the sanitation department.
I meant more, who's going to use it that doesn't already use recycling?
Well, I would say, Andrew, the reason we're here today, obviously the kickoff of the Advent season. I don't know about you, but my wife I seem to find a package every day, a new box sitting out in front of my house, and I can't even put it in my normal recycling container. I think
Right.
People at this time of year find an overabundance of packaging, and I think that's what we're trying to adjust for right now. Because I know if I had to keep that packaging in my house, I think it would be into April before I finally got everything pulled back down. But I think that's what we always see at this spot, even when we're dealing with the county. It seems to be very seasonal with this, but we can still work it over there. People have different needs that come up at different times of the year, but I think right now we see a very seasonal need with additional needs that people have. But plus, you get a chance to see how active Matt told us the airport was, so that's all good, a bonus.
So it's primarily for the cardboard, like you tried this before. It's mostly for the cardboard, and while we're doing cardboard, let's have the option for the other stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it'll stay year round though?
It'll stay year round. We're going to monitor it 24/7. We're going to dump it as often as needed. There's a benefit, when it comes to the cardboard at least. You got the big cardboard boxes from Christmas and all that, and you don't want to put those cardboard boxes on the curb because it sends a message to the people that want to maybe break into your home or steal from you, whichever the case may be. So you don't have to put that on the curb. You can bring it here to our drop-off center, break it down, put it in there, and be good to go. It's an option for our residents to have. It's not only for our residents, but it's for everybody who wants to recycle and recycle the right way.
You mentioned selling the cardboard to ECUA. Can you talk a little bit about are there challenges with the recycle market in general these days? We read stories nationwide. What's it been like here in Pensacola as far as dealing with recycling? What you collected and where it goes after the point?
We've had some challenges throughout the year when it comes to recycling. The recycling plant was down there for a minute, and we went through a tough time with recycling. We tried to house the recyclables, but no avail. We just simply ran out of room. But as long as the recyclables are clean, we were able to sell those recyclables, which is cardboard mainly, back to ECUA for a certain price there going forward.
And I guess y'all had this before a few years ago and had to close it down. And the mayor mentioned the cameras. Are there any other measures you're doing to ensure, like, it doesn't become more of a dumping ground?
Well, the reason that we put those cameras in so we can try to prevent some of that dumping ground, this is just for recyclables and recyclables only, and we're going to monitor this daily, and we're going to make sure that we recycle. Well, we encourage everybody to recycle the right way. If you're caught on camera not doing what you're supposed to do, we'll come by and see you or send you a message or something like that to maybe encourage you to do the right thing.
Go ahead. I was worried. I was about to say, Don, you must have been doing everything great. Nobody's asking you questions.
I was just wondering if you could speak about a couple of the kind of seem like conflicting dualities or something. You mentioned when you got up here that we're getting some cold weather, so therefore Pensacola Energy is making more money. Now at the same time though, that would be a harder winter for the Pensacola citizens paying those bills.
Right.
So how do you square those two things? And then also, environmentally speaking, how do you what's the argument behind continuing something as opposed to winding something down like Pensacola Energy when the city is, on a mission to minimize its carbon footprint? I know you spoke a little bit about calm or whatever, but ultimately, natural gas is not necessarily a clean gain.
Necessarily what?
A clean or renewable, source of energy. So why further something like that? Why not transition to, solar out of the recycling center or something like that? Putting energy into that kind of thing.
Well, first of all, you're right. The increased gas usage or increased utility usage of any kind costs more money, and there are folks that are financially challenged that are going to struggle with that. So we have programs to assist those customers. There's federal funds. You can contribute every month to a fund that Pensacola Energy uses to help elderly and low-income residents to offset those energy bills. And we also make arrangements and let them spread those payments out over time to get into the months where the heating bills will not be a factor, so that they can hopefully budget a little better. We offer budget payment plans. We have a number of programs to assist those who are challenged. But the fact of the matter is, we're also a business, and sales go up in the winter if it's a cold winter, and that's also part of our responsibility, is to generate revenue for the city so that we can hold the property taxes down for the citizens of Pensacola, because our revenue, of course, is used to help operate the general fund departments. And as far as winding down the utility, there's more questions than are answers as far as what the future holds for renewable energy. There are problems with every kind of energy production. I saw a news story recently where there were protesters at a proposed lithium mining site in the United States. Well, you got to have lithium to produce batteries to store electricity, and that's a problem. Electric cars are a problem, because how are you generating electricity that is powering those cars? Certainly if it's generated from some sort of renewable source, then it's a clean energy. But if it's generated from coal or natural gas, you've got a problem with that. You're still producing carbon in order to power those electric vehicles. So every type of energy consumption you can look at is going to impact the environment in some way. Humans impact the environment. We always will. And as far as our quality of life is concerned, we're always going to strive to have a good quality of life, both through consumption of energy, because that's what produces a lot of the quality, but also hopefully towards moving towards a cleaner future. And the natural gas industry is doing a lot of research in that area to reduce or even eliminate the carbon production from the burning of natural gas.
You refer to it as a step in the right direction. I mean, do you see it as a bridge energy, or perpetually natural gas?
Gulf Power's gone from coal to natural gas. Why? Because natural gas is a cleaner burning energy. Our air quality, you don't have to trust me. Tell you what, go on your phone right now, and you got your iPhone. You can go to your weather, and right there at the bottom of it, it'll show you the air quality, what's there. When you talk about Pensacola, 18 years ago, we almost became non-attainment related to air quality. Our air quality has been, when it was measured, we were having days that were in the 70s. We're almost exclusively in the 30s, and you see what's happening. We have some of the best air quality now. Certainly, I think taking the coal out of some of our coal-burning plants is a big part of that, and the steps that we've taken. I would say we're not perfect, but I would say at the same time, we're much cleaner with what we're doing at natural gas, and that's what we continue to say, and the things that we continue to do here providing our community. And it's just always one of those things. The questions was, I didn't know if maybe in that long question, if you were asking if the fact that we use natural gas, if there's global warming, if that's actually better for poor people in the winter because they won't have to pay as much for their natural gas. I wasn't sure if that was in the question or not, but I mean, this is the roundabout problems that we run into. I think all of it is we have to be as responsible as we can. That's certainly what we're trying to do, and I would say we're not perfect, but I would say we're operating with as clean energy as we know what we can deal with, and I think we're trying to make things better for our community all the way around.
Could you just talk a little bit about how the con offsets work? Is it forced to sign on an annual basis to produce so much offset for the carbon in the natural gas? Is it freshly planted? I'm just not familiar with the concept of the offset natural gas before us.
Yeah, it's a new concept, and it's a 5-year contract that we agreed to take the carbon offset natural gas, and there are independent auditors that verify that the forest land is assigned to our gas supply. So that's what we're doing, is testing to see just how accurate that verification is. The industry advises to be cautious about carbon offsets because you need to know who you're doing business with. We're doing business with one of the largest, if not the largest, natural gas producer in the world, BP. And so we have confidence that it's verifiable, but we want to investigate that further as we go through these contracts.
These are existing forests that they've acquired and set aside as preservation for offset?
Right.
New forests being planted?
It's probably some of both, but currently it's existing. That's what they're starting with, and I would think in time, but I don't know. I don't want to speak for BP. You'd have to ask them
So it's not necessarily offset so much as it was already there, and we're just going to assign it to offset.
Right, so they won't be cut down. Yes.
And how much, like, what are the financial particulars on that?
The carbon offset natural gas costs about, round figures, 10% more for the wholesale cost of gas, because there's a cost involved in setting aside that land.
And that's something
It doesn't cost the customer. Yeah.
y'all are doing. That's not like a customer contribution.
Well, the cost of the gas is passed through to the customers, but we are offsetting that premium with a gas supply contract called a prepaid natural gas contract, and that's something that only municipal systems can take part in. It's because municipal bonds are issued to buy a long-term supply of gas, and with the tax-free nature of municipal bonds and the lower interest rates, we're able to derive a discount to the gas. It's not quite 46 cents, it's around 30 cents, but it offsets most of that premiums for the customers.
If you prepay.
Right. Not the customer, but Pensacola Energy.
Oh.
I have another question for John.
John, we got one more for you.
I've seen a lot of different recycling setups all over the country. This one doesn't require the single stream to be separately sorted.
Correct.
It's just like your home bin, right? It's
Correct.
Everything that can be put in goes in.
Absolutely.
Is there a
Well, the cardboard only is cardboard only.
right? Cardboard including laminated cardboard or not including laminated cardboard?
Not including laminated cardboard, just regular cardboard that you get from the
Right.
deliveries from.
Same as at home.
Yeah.
Okay. And then in here, what things don't you want people to put in the single stream other than cardboard?
What do I don't want them to put in there? Furniture, yard trash, mirrors, anything that's not on the standard
Like
list that we
styrofoam.
styrofoam. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, you're gonna have to keep your styrofoam from your packaging at your home garbage. Yes, not to be brought here.
No garbage either. Absolutely.
Well, a couple things. Don did make me realize one of the things I forgot to say. Between today and tomorrow, you have the last opportunity to take advantage of the discount for your property tax. We hope you will pay. It's always a good thing to save a little money and get that discount. I know I've got to run from here, pick up checks for several of my commercial properties and go ahead and go pay. We certainly appreciate it. I know Amy Lavoie appreciates it, the City of Pensacola, when we get paid. So that's always a good thing on the property tax. But you do have a couple of days here to take advantage of those discounts that are provided by the tax collector. So we hope you will take advantage of that. Certainly if you have a mortgage, it's already probably paid for in that way. So that's coming up. Lastly, big week that's coming up. The big meeting this week, obviously dealing with homelessness. Obviously our big hope is we hope that the City Council will look to fund some initiatives that can begin to alleviate and address some of our homeless problems in the immediate future. This is more. It's going to be both immediate and also long-term. Toward that long-term strategy, this week I do believe we will be having a groundbreaking at our first tiny home, and then we have brought to the inspections department looking at another tiny home. I think we went through the rezoning, if you remember, to have our first one created there. So certainly looking at product, creating it for long term. I can also tell you, I know that Marcy Whitaker and our team at Housing is working to look and see how we can work to incent new housing, new opportunities, whatever we can do to continue to combat the issues of rising housing costs and what we can do. And I know finally, obviously in the meeting, what is being brought forward, we've been working with I guess individuals who do housing here in the community. They brought forward the vast majority of requests, and that $3 million, we've brought national experts to come here. We've set aside $3 million that is work to be doing it. Now we've asked those individuals to bring us ideas, and those will be brought forward. One of the ideas that will be pulled first thing from Wednesday night is the Lotus Project. That will actually come to the December meeting. That's the only initiative really that is being put forward from the city. But I do believe certainly the work that the individuals who have put forward other ideas, they're trying to figure out solutions. And I realize none of them are perfect, but we've got to start beginning to address some of those things. As I said in my radio conversation this morning, I think it's great to see. I don't know many other jurisdictions that are at least having the courage to address these issues of homelessness and trying to deal with it and work with solutions. So I hope the council will find some things to move forward with and begin to fund, and we can begin to start moving forward on solutions. I'm not looking for perfect. I'm looking for things that move us better, and I think we can always refine and retool as we move forward, and I think that's the important part of what we're there. You might have for what's going on in the city, but a lot of good things, and I certainly appreciate Pensacola Energy and Pensacola Sanitation being here today. John, what you got?
Mayor, can you give us an update or readout on the Maritime Park lots 4 and 5 negotiations?
Yes, lots 4 and 5. I know I was out of town some of last week. Had a nice trip with former City Administrator Keith Wilkins and former FAC president. But anyways, I know while I was out of town, some stuff came in. I know Andrew and I talked on Wednesday. We're supposed to get together today. I think we've got an initial response from the group. It just came in while I was out of town, and we had Thanksgiving, so we weren't able to get to it on Wednesday. But Andrew and I are hoping to get to it today, and hopefully we'll have something. I don't know that we're going to meet the December meeting, but our whole goal is shooting for the first meeting in January. So we hope to have something ironed out over the next 3 weeks, get it on the agenda for the first meeting in January for the council. That's our objective at this particular time.
Are you hearing anything from Valencia? Are they still a player?
Valencia is very well. I think we heard from Valencia the last time this came up. They're very much a player, but they understand that their project is very difficult to build on their lot if they don't have parking. So I think they're interested, but they also understand why 4 and 5 are so important in how we do it, and I think they're excited to see what comes forward. And I would say any additional housing, rental units, even whatever we can, it all adds to the stock of what we're doing. And while waterfront rental units may not be affordable, it will free up other units that can become more affordable through those things. So I think we just need more units. I think if you heard when Michael Kimbrell was there, he said we just need more housing, and I think that's on all levels we're trying to do that. But I am excited about what we're going to be doing with there at Maritime Park, and I think bringing additional housing will be a good thing for the community. Yes.
Do you anticipate a decision being made for the homeless relocation before the end of the year?
I certainly hope that the council will do something. I think former council president Moore, who wanted to get this, wants the council to make some decisions. They certainly, I was hoping they'd make something in November, but hopefully we'll have something here in December.
One more. Does the tree replenishment program that's supposed to get underway in December have a set location for those first set of trees?
We're going to be all over, all 7 districts will have it. It's going to be in parks in all 7 districts, so it will be spread out pretty evenly across there. We do have a list of the parks, and we can provide you a list of the parks that will be there, but I will say all 7 districts will be receiving additional trees from the trees that we lost during Hurricane Sally. So we're excited about that. We lost probably 400 trees, over 400 trees. This is 350 of them that we'll be planting back. I think there's no reason the city can't continue to keep doing the replenishment. I just think 350 is going to be about as many as we can plant during this planting season. As you can see behind you, the trees are dormant now. Now's the time for us to be planting so they can get in the ground and be ready to start growing by the spring. So that's our whole goal. So that's what we're looking for, and we'll be more than happy to get you the exact park locations. Any additional questions? Thank you very much. Casey, we're back at City Hall next time. Sorry we don't get to take you on a road show next time, but we will be back at City Hall. We'll look forward to seeing you there, and but we will plan some more as we go forward. We're going to conclude the press conference, but don't leave. We're going to have a ribbon cutting here. So we look forward to doing that. Please join us. Casey, we'll let you put that together.